Have you ever wondered if your dog is constantly trying to tell you something, and you've been missing every clue? What if for the next 10 minutes you stopped seeing your dog as just a pet and started watching them like a detective? You might notice tiny behaviors you've ignored for years, where they look before they lie down, how they react when you pick up your keys, why they suddenly freeze in the middle of a walk, or why they quietly stare at you when you aren't even looking at them. Most people assume these are random habits. They aren't. Every movement, every pause, every glance is information. By the end of this video, you'll understand your dog's behavior in a way most owners never do. And one of the last clues we'll reveal could completely change how you think about your relationship with your dog. Start with the first clue. Don't call your dog. Don't touch them. Just watch. Within a few seconds, you'll probably notice where their attention naturally goes. Is it toward a window? A doorway? Toward you? Dogs are constantly scanning their environment. Their brains evolved to monitor movement, sounds, and changes long before humans notice them. If your dog repeatedly checks the room before relaxing, they aren't being anxious. They're making sure the environment feels safe. But here's what's fascinating. Once they decide everything is okay, where do they settle? That choice tells you more than you think. And the next clue makes this even more interesting. Watch what happens when you stand up without saying a word. Does your dog instantly lift their head, follow you, or simply glance at you before relaxing again? Many people think a dog that follows them everywhere is being clingy. In reality, dogs are experts at predicting routines. Over hundreds of repeated experiences, they've learned that tiny body movements often lead to something important: a walk, dinner, playtime, or you leaving the house. They're reading your body language long before you're aware you're giving it away. But there's another behavior that's even easier to miss. Pay attention to your dog's ears. You don't have to wait for barking. Tiny ear movements are often the first sign that something has caught their attention. They can hear frequencies humans can't, and often detect sounds seconds before we notice them. If their ears suddenly rotate toward a direction while the rest of their body stays still, they're gathering information. They're investigating before deciding whether anything matters. It's almost like watching a detective collect evidence before reaching a conclusion. Now notice their eyes. Does your dog make quick eye contact and then look away? Or do they quietly watch you from across the room? A relaxed glance usually isn't a request for food or attention. Often it's simply checking in. Dogs are social animals. Looking at familiar people helps them understand what's happening around them. They aren't just watching your actions, they're watching your emotions. And one tiny signal gives this away better than almost anything else. If this is changing the way you look at your dog, take a second to like the video and subscribe. There are countless behaviors dogs use every day that most owners never notice, and understanding them can completely transform your relationship. Now here's a clue almost everyone misses. Watch your dog before they lie down. Many dogs circle once or twice, sniff the ground, or adjust their position several times. This isn't pointless. It's an instinct passed down through generations of wild ancestors who needed to create a safe resting place. Even though your dog has a soft bed, the behavior remains. Instinct doesn't disappear just because life becomes comfortable. The next clue happens when you leave the room. Don't call your dog. Just walk away naturally. Some dogs immediately follow. Others wait a few moments before checking on you. Neither behavior automatically means they love you more or less. Every dog has a different personality and history. What matters is consistency. Detectives don't solve mysteries from one clue. They look for patterns over time. Here's another fascinating observation. Watch your dog's tail carefully. Most people only notice wagging, but detectives notice speed, height, and the rest of the body's posture. A loose body with a relaxed wag often signals comfort. A stiff body with a high, rigid tail may mean excitement or alertness. The tail alone never tells the full story. It's only one piece of evidence. Now watch what happens during your daily routine. Pick up your shoes. Reach for your keys. Open a certain cupboard. Your dog may react before anything actually happens. That's because they've linked tiny actions together through experience. To them, your routine is a predictable story. They're not guessing, they're recognizing patterns. One of the most overlooked clues appears when your dog chooses where to sleep. Some dogs prefer the hallway. Others choose a doorway or somewhere they can see several rooms at once. It isn't always about comfort. Sometimes it's about awareness. From that position, they can monitor movement while still feeling relaxed. They're balancing rest with observation, just as their ancestors once did. And finally, try this. Sit quietly without your phone, television, or distractions. Spend 5 uninterrupted minutes simply watching your dog. Notice how often they glance toward you. Notice when they relax. Notice how they respond to sounds you barely hear. Suddenly, you'll realize something remarkable. Your dog has been studying you just as carefully as you've started studying them. That's the biggest lesson of all. Your dog isn't living on instinct alone. They're constantly collecting information, learning routines, reading emotions, and adapting to the world around them. Every day, they leave small clues about what they're feeling and what they're noticing. Most people never see them because they're too busy looking for dramatic behaviors instead of quiet ones. So tomorrow, don't just play with your dog. Don't just feed them. Spend 10 minutes watching them like a detective. You may discover that the greatest mystery wasn't your dog's behavior at all. It was how much they were communicating without saying a single word. Your dog isn't just behaving, they're telling a story. The question is, are you finally paying attention?